What if the most feared word in your vocabulary, no, was actually your secret weapon? What if every rejection wasn't a barrier, but a direct pathway to everything you desire? It sounds impossible, maybe even insane. But the individuals who've unlocked this paradox are the ones dominating in business, thriving in relationships, and living lives others only dream of. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how they do it. Let me start with something real. Most people hear the word no and immediately shrink. They apologize, back away, and convince themselves they were wrong to ask in the first place. And that single reaction, that instinct to retreat, is costing them more than they will ever realize. Because here is the truth that nobody teaches you in school. No is not a final answer. No is an opening position. Think about every major thing you have ever wanted. A job you thought was out of reach. A relationship you almost did not pursue. A deal that seemed impossible. Now ask yourself how many of those things would have happened if you had quit the moment someone pushed back. Rejection is not a wall. It is a filter. And what it is filtering out is everyone who does not want it badly enough. Here is where most people get it wrong. They treat rejection as personal. Someone says no, and suddenly, it means you are not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy. But rejection is almost never about you as a person. It is about timing, context, fear, misunderstanding, or circumstances that have nothing to do with your actual value. When you understand that, everything changes. The rejection stops stinging and starts teaching. So what do you actually do when you get a no? The first move is to pause before reacting. Not out of weakness, but out of strategy. Emotional reactions to rejection are what kill opportunities. The person who stays calm and curious when they hear no immediately separates themselves from everyone else. Ask yourself, what information is this no giving me? That question alone puts you back in control. The second move is to get specific. Because no is almost never really no. What someone says when they reject you is almost always a compressed version of something more specific. No means not right now. No means I do not understand the value yet. No means I am scared of making the wrong decision. No means I need more proof. Your job is to find out which kind of no you are actually dealing with. You do that by asking better questions instead of walking away. Try something like this. I completely understand. Can I ask what your main concern is? Or, what would need to be true for this to make sense for you? These are not pushy questions, they are intelligent questions. And they signal that you are serious, professional, and genuinely interested in solving a problem rather than just closing a transaction. People respond to that energy differently than they respond to someone who is desperate. Now here is where the psychology gets interesting. There is a principle called commitment and consistency. Once someone gives you even a small yes, they become psychologically motivated to stay consistent with that yes. So when you get a no, your goal is not to bulldoze through it. It is to find the smallest possible yes hiding inside it. Can we revisit this next month? Yes. Can I send you some more information? Yes. Is there someone else you might refer me to? Yes. Each small yes is a foothold, and footholds lead to summits. The people who are most effective at converting rejection into results are not the loudest or most aggressive. They are the most persistent in a calm, methodical, genuinely curious way. They treat each no as a data point in a longer conversation. They understand that relationships are built over time and that the person who said no to you today is often the person who champions you tomorrow, precisely because you handled the rejection with class. Let me give you the framework that changes the game. When you get rejected, run through these 3 steps in order. First, acknowledge without conceding. You say you hear them, you respect their position, you are not rattled. Second, diagnose the real objection. Ask a genuine question to understand what specifically created the no. Third, respond to that specific concern rather than making a general case. You are not repitching. You are solving the actual problem that caused the rejection in the first place. This works because it moves the conversation from a confrontation to a collaboration. And people buy into things they feel they helped create. When someone feels heard, their resistance drops. When their resistance drops, new possibilities open up that did not exist a minute ago. Here is something the most successful negotiators in the world know that almost nobody else does. The person who is most comfortable with silence and discomfort after a no holds all the power. Most people rush to fill silence with backpedaling. But silence is actually pressure on the other person. Let the no sit there. Look at them calmly. Let them feel the weight of it. You would be amazed how often that silence cracks open a door that talking would have shut. The deeper lesson in all of this is about identity. How you respond to rejection is a direct reflection of how you see yourself. People who collapse at the first no have built their self-worth on external approval. People who stay standing have built their self-worth internally. And that internal foundation is what makes everything else possible. You cannot negotiate powerfully from a place of desperation. But from a place of genuine confidence and self-belief, no becomes something you are genuinely curious about rather than afraid of. Start this week. Go after one thing you have been hesitating on because you feared rejection. Not recklessly, but intentionally. And if you get a no, practice the framework. Acknowledge, diagnose, respond specifically. Do it once and notice how differently it feels from running away. Do it 10 times and watch your relationship with rejection completely transform. The no you are avoiding right now might be the exact thing standing between you and what you actually want. The only question is whether you are willing to walk toward it. Because the people who win are not the people who never hear no. They are the people who decided that no was never going to be the end of the story. If this perspective shift resonated with you, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more strategies that help you win big in life.